So let me ask you a question. How old did you say you are? 29?
31.
Uh-oh. Do you have women around you who can be honest with you and just tell you the truth? Okay. What do you want out of life regarding relationships? Would you like to be married one day? I can't just say yes. Hello?
She's like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Y'all remember when she lost the voice? Probably on mute or something.
You muted yourself? I don't know if you mute yourself because I can't hear you. Yeah, you muted yourself. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? I didn't mean to hit anything, but okay. Yes, I would like to be married.
Okay. Would you like children?
I have one 10-year-old.
Okay. And how's the relationship with your dad? His dad?
With my child's father? We're mutual, okay. But he's in another relationship.
All right. So, do you want any additional children?
No.
Do you?
So she wants to be married. She already has one 10-year-old child. If you already know Kevin's material, and you can kind of see where this is going. So you want to be married. You don't want any more children, but you already have a 10-year-old. That's going to be very hard for another man to deal with and swallow, for the simple fact that it's another man's child, number one. Number two, the person that you're marrying, he won't get to have any children of his own. Come on, man.
Do you care if the man you're seeing has children?
No, and I'm willing to date. My preference is older men for that's the main reason.
Okay.
So I'm willing to date older.
So
because I don't want any more children.
Okay, so I've got to be honest. See, this is why I think women need to have women around them that can tell the truth. Mm-hmm. Because y'all don't tend to listen to us first. If you want to be married and you have a 10-year-old, that means you got a kid that's going to be with you at least another 8 years. Mm-hmm. It is a very difficult proposition for a man to go into a marriage knowing he's not going to have any additional children. That removes almost 80% of the reason that men want to get married.
Even if it's an older man?
Well, no, not necessarily if he's an older man, but this is where the competition thing comes into play. You still got a child that you're going to be with 8 years. He could easily go find a woman who's younger with no kids. Mm-hmm. It's not going to, because it's still.
And that's the thing that these women never consider. There's always another model. There's always a newer model. Every graduation, there's a new crop of women available. You have to think, why would I be the best option? Or how can I be the best option for this type of man that I want? Especially knowing the market is about to be saturated with all these new, younger women, with less baggage than you.
It's cheaper. See, as a single mother, you are going to have to outperform your childless self.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Meaning, go ahead.
My question is, what is the solution to that? Because I still, I've only been watching some of your content maybe in the past week or two.
Okay.
So, but I haven't heard a lot of solutions. I'm open to feedback because I don't want any more kids. So
why don't you? Well, okay. First off, we got to understand, why don't you want any more children?
Because my child is 10 and I'm single. I'm not dating anybody. So I would have to meet someone, get to know them, get into a relationship, get married. So by the time I do that, how old do you think my child will be? 13, 14? So then I just don't want to start the entire process over. I don't want to have a teenager and a newborn.
Okay.
If that makes it, just as a mother and knowing
all right. So
it almost seems like selfishness in a type of way. You want a man to come over and help raise a preteen by another man, but then that man also doesn't get children of his own that he gets to raise into preteenhood to adulthood, it's almost selfish, honestly. And I think she needs to understand and realize that it's a hard deal for a man. Honestly, it's such a hard deal for a man to be able to do something like that.
Solution is to wait till your child graduates.
I've thought about that.
Because, but listen. Okay, see, here's the reality. As a single mother, there are all the choices are not easy. Because the first thing I thought of was you're selfish. You want this is about you. I don't.
Fresh reaction here, guys. I'm sorry. Fresh reaction here, guys. I just called it out. This is exactly what men hear when they hear this kind of stuff. Selfishness. Go ahead, Kevin.
Want to have an age gap. I don't want to have to do this. Marriage is not something you do for yourself. It is something you do for everything else other than you. Duty, respect, honor. That's what makes a 30, 40, 50-year relationship. If the man wants kids and you don't want kids, that's selfish.
She became the Little Mermaid again.
I understand the reason. So that would mean you may be perfectly lovely, but he's got to go on to somebody to give him a child. Now, I'm going to ask a hard question. Is it that you don't want to have children, or you just don't want to have what you've already had, which likely wasn't a positive motherly experience? Okay, you mute yourself again? If you don't get your fingernails off the buttons, stop muting yourself.
Every time I swipe, it just.
Okay, well, I don't know why you keep swiping. Does your phone keep ringing or something?
No.
Okay.
So I don't think it's just me being selfish. I think I know.
What I asked you initially is that did you have a positive motherly experience?
No.
Okay. So, ma'am, listen to what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
You were how old when you had your child?
21.
You were 21 in a healthy, happy, loving, committed marriage where you met a man, he met your family, you met his family. He did the traditional things, proposed to you, got your father's blessing. Your family paid for the wedding. Your friends came. You got the ceremony and everything. And then you guys lived together and as newlyweds and enjoyed each other for a little bit of time. And then you got pregnant. And regardless of what, especially if you had a man who's a provider and you had good health insurance and was able to have your baby in a safe environment, whether you took the FMLA 13 weeks off or you took out the first 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, and you had somebody there day in, day out, week in, week out, your experience would have been massively different. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would still have the same opinion if your husband were to unfortunately be passed, if you were a widow, and you were to look at marrying again? Would you still say, I don't think I want any more children?
I'm really not sure. Probably not. But when I say, I don't think it's selfish, it's because I'm thinking about, the type of woman I want to be and the type of wife I want to be,
what is that?
Man.
What is that?
Being, I want to be able to be more lighthearted and just, my more, womanly or bubbly self. And I think that when I'm a mom or when you have a newborn, it's just a lot of work and it's a lot of mental strain.
Of course, it's a lot of work when you're a single mother. It's a lot of work when you're a single mother. Okay, and this is why having a child out of wedlock is so traumatic.
I agree.
What I'm trying to get you to understand is, okay, let's start here. If you're married, do you want to have to work to pay significant bills in the household?
No.
Okay. What percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime? What percentage? Yeah, like right now, you have to be responsible for 100% of your family's financial load for a lifetime. Right. When married, what percentage would you want to have to be responsible for?
Ideally, 0.
Okay, so you want a man to come in. And what state do you live in? Arizona. How much is a man?
Sorry, before he goes. So she doesn't want to have any more kids. Her kid is already 10. She doesn't want to have to work in the marriage at all. This is a bad deal for a man. So that man's money is essentially just going to be going to her and her child while she does essentially nothing because she doesn't want any more children. But she wants to be a bubbly, loving, caring wife and all that other stuff. It's not a fair deal. It is absolutely not a fair deal.
Man going to have to make to facilitate you, a child, and him, and a wife that doesn't work.
6 figures. In Arizona.
Well, okay, 6 figures can be anywhere from $100,000 to $999,000.
Maybe $250K. This is just a guess.
Yeah, that's about it. And did you go to college?
No.
Okay. What percentage of men in this country earn $200,000 or more?
Oh, I've heard you say this before. It's a very small, like less than 10%. It's a very small percentage.
No, that's less than 100. That's over 100. You talk about men in the top 3% of men. And I'm going to be very honest with you, man. Mm-hmm. Men in the top 3% are not looking to pay for anybody else's children. Mm-hmm. They can go make their own families. Men like that want legacy because they've had to make themselves a high-value man. They don't want to provide for another man's legacy. Every dollar they put in your child is paying for another man. It is biologically ridiculous for us to do that. Let's take it away from human beings, okay? Mm-hmm. If a new set of male lions takes over a pride of female lions, what happens to the lion cubs from the other men?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know. Lions are ruthless.
They die!
I don't know.
No. What do you think, though? You got 5 lionesses, you got 7 cubs, and you had 2 lions there. Then you get 2 more lions coming to depose those other 2 lions. So those other 2 lions get run off or killed or something, and the 5 lionesses are there, and the 7 cubs. What happened to the 7 cubs?
Well, something to where they're no longer around.
What? You're an adult. What does that mean? Something
they kill them?
What do you think happens?
Do they kill cubs?
I'm asking. Do you think they raised them?
Probably not.
What do the mothers do with them?
I don't know.
Okay, this is the unfortunate part. That we've allowed women to not even understand nature. In nature, the cubs will be killed. Because every time the new lion comes in, he has to bring food. He's not going to feed another lion's kids. This is how it is in nature. So, and the mothers sit back and like, well, and you know what happens when the lion cubs are disposed of? They go in the heat. What I'm trying to get you to understand, ma'am, is you want to be a taken care of woman. Right? Mm-hmm. What did your baby daddy do?
He lives, I'm from Michigan, so he's still in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean.
What do you do for a living?
He works for the big 3. It's in the automotive industry.
Okay. Is he high ranking? Or is he on the factory?
No, he's in the factory.
Right. Is he on child support?
No. It's no, we're not. We don't have anything court ordered.
So, ma'am, this is going to sound harsh, but this sounds crazy. You want a man to come get you later in life, used with somebody else's kid, and put you up like a traditional wife, and the man you made a baby for ain't even doing nothing. That would make no sense for a man. And he can't even get a child out of you?
But what if it's like an older guy and he has his own children?
She keeps going back to this older guy thing. It doesn't matter. Why would that matter? It's a bad deal for a man. Horrible deal for a man.
When I'm older and I don't deal with single mothers. I got my own children. I would not take care of your child. There are plenty of young women out there with no kids. First off, the fact that you had, if you want the honest truth, the fact you had a child is a severe mark against you. Because that means you don't make good decisions. Then I'm going to go vet the man who you had a child by. And if he ain't at least on my level, we got nothing to talk about. I'm not going to raise a lesser man's child. Bottom damn line. I'm not going to bring you around my colleagues, friends, country club, this and that, and be dragging some bastard around from somebody else. Because that's what the kid is called. And because if I did, they would ask, hey, you got married, you got a wife. Okay. Hey, girl, who's your ex-husband? Oh, I wasn't married. Oh, okay. Well, what's your child called? He's okay. So this is a doctor, this is a lawyer, this is an Indian chief, this is a pharmacist, this is a business owner, this is a this or this. And what is your child's father? Oh, okay. And you just sitting up in the suburbs, not paying any bills? You've been looking at too many Instagram.
But I know some women who are not married, but they're in relationships with.
Yes, that's right, ma'am. And understand. They'll deal with you. They'll have sex with you. They won't marry you. That's one of the things I talk about on this show. High value men. Look at legacy. And it doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make you bad. But what I'm saying is, you're talking about marriage, and you're not even going to... Okay, let's see if we can put it this way. Do you know how to cook well?
Yes.
Do you have a recipe book?
No. I use like online, and then I learn recipes from my grandmother. She
okay. Can you bake?
Yes.
All right. How tall are you?
5'4".
Dress size?
My what?
Dress size?
Small.
No. Dress size. 2, 4, 6, 18, 12.
Oh, 4.
Okay. All right. How many tattoos do you have?
A lot.
You have any piercings?
Yes, but not visible.
Okay.
Just like my ears.
All right. Is this your natural hair? Is it a wig?
No, I moved to Arizona, so I have not found a stylist yet. But in Detroit, I wore my natural hair all the time. I got my hair done every week.
But is it when I'm...
Y'all peep how she didn't answer the question? She said, no, I moved to Arizona trying to deflect. Black women, we like your natural hair a lot more than whatever you're putting in your head. All right? The weave, the lace front, all that stuff. It gotta stop. Please make it stop. It's 2023. We've been telling y'all for years we do not like these accessories on y'all. We like the natural you. Black women, we like the natural you.
How long is your natural hair?
Like to my shoulder.
Okay. So, ma'am, this is where women start to get upset. I don't know. You're a high school graduate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have lots of tattoos, piercings, someone else's child, 31, he's a 10-year-old, and now it sounds like you want to be Sally Homemaker and have a man pay all the bills. Why is that? Okay, if your son became an attorney, right? Or something like that.
I have a son.
Huh?
Yeah.
You say what?
I don't have a son. It's
daughter?
A girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, let's just switch it anyway. If you had a son and he had to go become an attorney, and making $250,000 a year, would you want him bringing home a woman who has a child by another man? Would you want him bringing you home?
Well, I wouldn't have a problem with that, honestly. But again, I'm biased because I am a single mother, and I think it's.
But you would want your son, out of all the women he could pick from, to pick a woman who has a child and doesn't want to have a child. That's what you want for your child.
I wouldn't see somebody with a child as a negative, though.
But that's the problem. It is, man. But that's the problem. That's the problem. It is. It is a big negative. And the fact that you ladies don't see, you look at your children and you love your children, and you don't see it lowering your value. I see this across YouTube all the time, and it's delusion, man.
But I wouldn't mind a man who has children, though.
But the difference is we got to take care of them. A man's not getting a kid from you. See, what you're not doing is, what are you bringing to the table except expectations? A man can't even get a child from you. So it's not like that's the deal. And then he's taking care of another child. That's a double negative.
So in terms of,
let me ask you this: Could your husband discipline your daughter?
Yeah, my husband.
Yeah. Could he whoop her?
My husband, yes.
Okay. Then, and your daughter comes home and she's mad at your husband and she say he did XYZ. See, you ladies don't realize what you're asking for a man. You're asking for a man who has resources to put and means to put all that at risk. And you may be a perfectly lovely woman, man, but it comes down to what are you bringing to the table that's better than other women with no children, or women who may have a child and they want to give that man a kid. Your case is laden with. I don't see it moving. Especially not wanting to work. I don't know where they make y'all at like this. Where'd y'all grow up thinking this make sense?
I wouldn't mind. I definitely plan to work. Like, I don't have no problem. I would never rely on someone.
You said you didn't want to have to work to pay significant bills. You said you didn't want. I asked what percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for? None. You said you want somebody making a 200. I know what you said, man. And the reality is you don't want to have the financial pressure. If you work or not work, you don't want it to impact the family in any way.
Right.
That's the reality. Man, were you raised with this? Were you raised in a family like this?
Yes. Both my mom and dad are married, still married.
Okay.
But both my parents work.
Okay.
My dad.
But both your parents work, but your mom worked.
Mm-hmm.
But why don't you think you should have to? Why don't you want to have to work?
Her money was put towards like savings and like little stuff that she wanted to do.
But she worked.
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have? How many siblings do you have? How many siblings do you have?
2 other sisters.
Thank you. Your father got 3 kids out of your mom.
Yes.
Ma'am, you're not this person. You're not this person. And unfortunately, this is a good conversation because it shows the damage that this Disneyification has done to the black community. The reality is this, man. You're a high school graduate who had a baby at 20 for a factory worker. If you were an average-looking woman, you would not be asking for all this. It is unreasonable. That is why you cannot find a husband. You can find people to date. You'll find people who have sex with you that hook up. But as far as putting a ring on it, absolutely not.
And here's the thing about that. In her situation, she could most definitely find somebody on her level or lower that would definitely take her and her child right now. But because she wants what she isn't, which is a childless younger version of herself, she wants higher than what she is. And that's just not going to work. That's just not going to work. If she's willing to compromise and take a little bit less, but have a man, she would be fine. She would be absolutely fine.
Not the kind of man making the kind of money you're talking about.
Okay, so in terms of solutions,
lower your standards to match who you are.
Okay, so what do you think that is? So if I don't want to
have either, all right. Here's how we do this. Here's how we do this. What would you rank your looks on a scale from 1 to 10? Fresh face out of the shower, your natural hair, and you can't use 7.
6. She a solid 6.
8.
You put I put Beyonce around 8, Kelly Rowland around 9, Rihanna 10. You put yourself around Beyonce level.
Okay, Beyonce the 8, then 6.
Okay, I give you a 6. You're cute.
Fair.
Cute is one step above average, and according to you, you're dress size 4. You weigh about what? Approximately, what did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
165, 170.
165,
165, 170? Hold up. She gotta be like a little thick joint. 5'4", 165. She said, oh my gosh, she said she was a dress size 6. Hold up, man. Hold up. Kevin, please.
70? No, that ain't a dress size 4. You're a bit of dress size 8.
I can go in my closet. All my dresses say small, though.
Okay, so if you're 5'4", 180 pounds, you weigh more than a man at your height. I'm the image consultant. I know women's sizes. I used to do fashion merchandise. Unless you are an H cup, you're not 30 pounds of breast. The women I deal with, 5'4", 125 pounds. And I know what it looks like all the time.
Yo, the max I had in my head was like 130, if anything. She said 165 to 170. That is absolutely ridiculous. Black women, black people. We are the most overweight race. We are the most overweight race. Fix that shit. Stop eating all this fast food. Stop eating all this high cholesterol food. Start going to the gym or start working out more. Fix that shit. Making us look bad.
You 50 pounds more than that. That's 8. So that's already, you're too big.
So I just had like insignificant weight loss. So I'm getting like skin removal and I'm going through this whole process.
But see, that's the point. The fact that you got to do all that when your competition is already that with no kids should let you know. You got to go through transformation to get to what we already want. And
see, the big issue with that type of stuff is a lot of the times if you're not keeping up, a lot of times if you use that method to get off the weight, 9 times out of 10, you're just going to put back in the weight because you didn't develop the mental or the healthy eating habits or exercise habits to keep that weight off of you. So if you're just like, sucking the fat off of you or having it removed in any type of non-organic way, 9 times out of 10 you're likely to get back to that same size because you didn't get there naturally in the first place. So you don't have the mindset or the discipline to be able to keep you from not getting back to that place. So I'm really against all that type of shit. Let's go, Kevin.
They got no baby and you got a whole grown person. Man, you're a 6 and you're below average in your body. So that puts you right about average.
But once I hear you like 165 and upward, you kind of like drop about a point. Now you're like a 5, honestly.
You will be good to get a man making $50,000 a year, and you will work for the rest of your life. And that's a good deal. 70% of mothers in this country work full or part-time. Your mother worked. And your father got 3 kids out of it. The problem is you ladies ask for far too much and you massively overestimate your sexual marketplace value. If you were a vehicle, you'd be a Honda. Reliable. Good, reliable, not insulting. It's good, reliable, but you use Honda. Go ahead. What am I asking? What are you asking?
So you're saying if I at best, I would get a man who makes 50K and I would still have to work for the rest of my life. And I'm already working for the rest of my life and don't want to have any more kids, then do you think it's even beneficial to be in that situation?
Okay.
So what annoys me about that question is you're making it seem like because you can't reach the expectations you were thinking that having a man means having no value at all. That might be the dumbest line of thinking and reasoning that she's displayed this whole show. A man is more than his fucking wallet, basically. All right? A man provides utility, structure, organization, and all the masculinity, all the things that you cannot get being a single mother. That is what a man provides. And it's really annoying when when women come to this dead end stop. Oh, well, if I have to do all this by myself, I might as well not. If I have to do all this with a man, I might as well just be by myself. That is the stupidest line of thinking. And it's very insulting to... Hold up. Yeah, it's very insulting to average guys. And it makes the guys that are higher than them look like, well, if you're not appreciative of this guy, why would I even want to be with you? Why would I even want to come to your level and help? I do not like that mind frame.
See, so let me say this, audience. See, this is what, and I'm going to say this to the audience, not necessarily you. See, audience, this is what's been marketed to women. If a man can't pay all your bills, then what's the use of having a man? Let me ask you this then, man, before I answer that question. From 25 to 65, if you just make $50,000, if you make $50,000 a year, which is $20,000 more than the average woman, black woman. If you made that $50,000 and you got a cost of living raise every year of 3%, and if you stack $200 savings a month for 40 years, upon retirement at age 65, and you have a life expectancy to 85, you will need $2.9 million to live that last 20 years. At $50,000, you will have a $750,000 shortfall, meaning you won't have enough money to last the rest of your life. Where do you plan on getting the money to provide you for the rest of your life if you never get married and you only have one income? Uncle Sam won't have it. The government won't have it. There will be no Social Security. There are no homeless shelters. There are no Herculean methods. There is nothing to go to get it from. Whatever you thought would be out there doesn't exist. How you going to live in your elder years?
Right now, I actually have 2 full-time jobs in like an online business, so okay. I'm prepared to.
Do you make in excess? Do you make in excess of $80,000 a year?
No, not yet.
Okay, ma'am, it doesn't matter what you have. I gave you an example of $50,000, and that person is childless. Marriage is not an option for you, ma'am. It is a requirement. You need to.
How you turn your nose up at the man that is making the 50K without a child, and you have a child, but he's not good enough. Incredible.
Another income, and you need to get another income, and then be grateful that somebody would be willing to marry you with a kid and deal with you. Because the reality is, when you hit 65, you're either going to be living in a cracker box, eating what you got to stretch money, deciding to pay your rent or your medication, because the government won't do it. They won't have the money. And see, the problem is women in your age range have been sold this fantasy about marriage to where you're only looking at men who are this and that, and then you put these outrageous things on it. I'm not going to have a kid, this and that. And man, you don't have those options. And you just said it. You had a massive weight. How much weight did you lose? You say 40, 50, what?
150.
Oh, you gotta be. You gotta be. You've been trolling me. That's pretty good if you have. You lost 150. You were 300 pounds.
I was.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
Holy shit. I swear to God, y'all, I didn't pay her. I swear to God, I didn't pay her. I did not pay her. I swear to God, I did not pay her. I swear to God, I did not pay her. Man, a 300-pound high school graduate with a baby.
Well, what 300? This is my question. So if you're
but before you, I don't care. But before you ask your question, I'll answer your question. But I got a real serious question. Where the hell do you get off having that kind of expectation below average?
I'm not 300 pounds now. I lost a significant amount of weight. I've done a lot of work on myself physically and spiritually and mentally. So we've talked before about like pretty privilege and how it just gets you in the door and the type of person you are, who you are, what you bring to the table with, was what was going to get you a relationship or keep you a man or whatever. So I don't think the fact that I used to weigh 300 pounds would make me any less.
How long ago did you weigh 300 pounds?
4 years ago.
Man, that ain't. Oh. A 300-pound woman was a high school graduate with tattoos and piercings, and your baby daddy's a factory worker. You are the definition of average at best. You got a cuter face than average women. But I said you're 6. You put yourself up at an 8. Your standards are outrageous. So it doesn't matter if you're not 300 pounds now. You still got 300-pound leftover skin and all that stuff. But your attitude, you're not mean, you're not combative, but you're entitled. Like you're a princess and the man supposed to go out and become a top 3% man to get an X 300-pound baby mama. That makes absolutely no logical sense, except online. I'm going to ask you a serious question. Have you ever had any kind of counseling or therapy?
I have. And I've had skin removal procedures already.
But man, it doesn't matter. Okay, but man, that's okay. The physical gets you in the door.
Right.
But you are far too entitled for who you are. Why do you think, as an average woman, you need an above average or a high earning man?
Because like you said, looks aren't everything.
Yeah, they're not. But why? Okay, what does that mean to you? Looks aren't everything.
I think like high school graduate means that I can't hold. It doesn't mean I can't hold a conversation or I can't hold.
I never said that, but I'm just saying. I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not saying you couldn't hold your own. What I'm saying is there's no additional secondary education, so you're wanting a man who has to go get all that. What kind of men make in excess of $200,000? It's typically not a blue collar guy unless he owns something.
Yeah, like realtors. Like I've worked.
That's white collar.
High earning. Yeah.
But man, that's a salesperson. That's a different. This is fascinating because I'm trying to ask a realistic question.
Okay.
Your mother and father were middle class people.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get this Fresh Prince of Bel-Air mindset? You got a child at 20. Why do you think you should have a man who arguably is low grade rich? $250,000 is a lot of money. That's earning 6 times what the average black man earns. Why?
Well, I wouldn't. to me.
See, women never have to think about it from this point of view because the world has made it so that a lot of the consequences only befall men. We're the only ones told we have to improve, do better, can't make dumb decisions. There's no cushion for a man, right? She had a child when she was 20, 21 years old and is expecting the very best of a 3 to 4% man. That makes absolutely no sense considering everything we've heard from beginning to end. And it's just crazy. They never consider how this is going to affect them in the long term. They never consider how this makes them look, how other guys perceive them. It's just very wild.
Mm-hmm.
Or just from the people around me, I think that, like, you know, who I am or my personality or the type of woman that I am, you know, is deserving of that, even though I do have a child. Just like you said, money is
deserving. Man, is deserving of that. What does that mean? Your personality, meaning you're pleasurable to be around.
Yeah, like even though you said I have an entitled attitude, I'm a princess. I think that there are. You said a guy can find someone who's younger that doesn't have kids.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that they're grounded or, you know, like...
Man, you're not grounded in... But, man, I'm trying to be as... Okay, you may be nicer than Bonquisha and Kilolo, but that does not mean you're... the kind of... Okay, let me also just put it this way. You're not just competing against black women at that level. You're competing against all women. You're competing against the women that are around that man. When that man is in a room, you need to look at the women that are going after him. They don't have a bunch of hand tattoos and piercings. You may be nice, man, and agreeable, and you may be better than your friends, but if I take you into a room with these men, they're not going to look at you like they're going to look at other women. You would be fun. You would not be wife.